WB Morning Circus, Will Payne.
Barry Diamond.
Kelly Orchard.
Yeah! Talking about the book called Dead Air, The Day the Music Died. Where can they find it?
KellyOrchard.com, or you can find it on Amazon. It's really easy to find.
Awesome.
It is nice that you can just, order it.
Yeah.
It's like there the next day somehow.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
Download
magically.
it on your Kindle.
Yes.
You used to have to
Watch
go
it-
out and
watch
go to
it
a
immediate-
bookstore.
immediately, so-
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So
Well, that's why I'm here. Rather than do bookstore tours, I'm doing radio station tours.
I like that. That's a great
yeah,
idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So-
All right, I want to find out some back history. Tell me,
Okay.
how did the book come alive with you?
Well, it came alive with me probably about 18 years ago. My dad and I'm second generation radio broadcaster, and Dad and I, in a transitional period, we're doing mock inspections, FCC work for radio and television. And we were based in Southern California, Los Angeles for the most part. Lots of inspections up on Mount Wilson, which is where the setting for this book takes place. So we were up on Mount Wilson so much with these engineers who at the time were concerned about the safety and security issues up there on the mountain, because there's a lot of construction going on, a lot of coming and going, lots of transmitters are up there. And of course, when you're doing inspections for FCC compliance, that's one of the issues you tackle is safety and security. While me and my little sinister imagination, I've always wanted to be a novelist, started just asking questions. Well, what would happen if?
Right.
Well, then what? And then Dad and I coming down the mountain, we'd just kind of like chuckle and laugh about what the problems would be if such and such happened.
Right.
So that's where the origin came from.
And Mount Wilson was in the news, with the fires.
Oh, that was crazy. It was right before the book launched. And there was the Pacific Palisades fires, and I'm watching the fire go up, and it's going to destroy Mount Wilson. I actually had some radio friends who knew of this storyline call me up and say, "You need to stop writing. You are manifesting. Stop it right now."
Wow, that's awesome.
That is a great way to introduce the book, Dead Air, The Day the Music Died. And the thing about this is I love the perspective. Granted, there's been, let's say, Hollywood adaptations of our business.
Right.
And Barry and I are kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, Christian Slater had a FM translator in the back of his Jeep.
Yeah.
With an antenna on the back, and
Yeah.
anybody could hear it.
Yeah.
Sure, that worked out well.
Yeah.
But I make that point because you took great pride in making sure what you were putting in your book was factual.
Yes, I did. I actually would call people and ask them, would you do this? Like Mike McVay was one. When I had a question about what this program director might do, I had already written it. I called Mike, would you do that? And he was like, yeah, I'd do that. Okay, cool. That's all I need.
Yep.
And then I'd call an engineer and I was like, tell me about if I want to fly a drone up to Mount Wilson, what's going to happen to it?
Got it.
And he told me what would happen. And that's how okay, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I called an FCC attorney and I said, okay, well, if EAS is going to go on, what stations have to join,
Yep.
the station? So I did. Anytime that I had something I wanted factual, I called somebody.
Did they send you a bill, the EA, the legal attorney?
No.
He was very fortunate.
He was very kind to answer my
Did
calls.
you have to give him a credit in the book at the back?
I did give him one.
Okay, yeah. I should have wondered. There had to be some kind of payment in there.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because he probably answered me because when I first met him in person, I kind of geeked out on him because,
Sure.
in my world of FCC compliance, I read all the blogs of all these FCC attorneys and I'd see their names on licenses. So they're my celebrities.
Yeah.
So when I got to have dinner with him, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having dinner with.
I've read all that.
I've read all your work.
Exactly.
He's like, you're weird.
All right, stand by. We're going to have more with Kelly Orchard here on the WB Morning Circus.